Welcome to the Boogie Down Bombers Podcast. A podcast talking all things Yankees and baseball.
Now batting over the Yankees.
Now, here's your hosts, Austin, Tim, and Nick.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Boogie Down Bombers Podcast. I'm Austin Verhill, and along with Tim LaDuca today, and that's it. Nick's this is a throwback. This is the original. You listen to the first episode, and it's us two. So it's it's a bit of a throwback. Nick is a little busy watching the Rangers game, so he'll be back.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, they don't do that so often, so he deserves to get a nice little watch of his team playing a playoff game. The Yankees are in the middle of something right now, and it's amazing. It's a 10-game win streak, which currently, as we're recording, is about to turn to 11. What are we? I haven't seen, but we were up 7-1. So
7-1.
That's pretty nice against a team in Toronto too. But just before we get to the series in Toronto, let's look at how we got here. And it has been on this bullpen. It's been on the pitching, but you can't really even just say that because the offense has also been on fire, and we haven't had a lot of times since like parts of 2019 where that has happened, where both the offense and the pitching has been on fire. And, obviously 2019, I don't think anyone expected us to do it. We're expected to do it, and they've done it. So has anything in particular stood out to you?
For me, the pitching is very, I wanted to say lucky, but lucky has a different meaning now in baseball because we can actually quantify luck or not. But I think that people were so concerned with this rotation coming into the season.
Which was good last year.
Now you have Nestor Cortez coming in and being an ace. You have Garrett Cole, who, after, a little rough start, has just shoved.
Yeah.
And I think that it's interesting. I always thought that Yankee fans overreacted. It's like, oh, they're so dramatic, they always overreact. Yeah. And for, I would say, 2.5 days in the beginning of the season, I'm like, wow, maybe we were overreacting. But, wow, that was the biggest overreaction of all time. This is the best team in baseball, and we're proving that, the second game of April doesn't always signify the rest of the season. This is a very good team. Anthony Rizzo, my hero, is using the shape of Yankee Stadium to his advantage. I don't think any of those 3 home runs the other day would have gone out in any other ballpark. But hey, you can set the pins up any way you want. You still got to knock them down.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It is so annoying to me when fans complain, like opposing fans complain about Yankee Stadium. First off, the obvious rebuttal to that is they play in that field too. Like that, was that against Baltimore? Did that against? So Baltimore played in the same field as he did. And when you look at center field and left field in Yankee Stadium, that's a field. Like it's, you got a short porch in right field. Every stadium has their quirks. I mean, the pesky pole is way closer than the short porch is, and they got the green monster, which is tall, but it's like 3 inches away from you. So obviously they got their right center and center field mess in their stadium that's only praised because of how old it is. But it hasn't happened a lot recently. And the last time we can remember where, it was the people who should have been doing it, not the injured ones like in 2019. It was 2017. And, that team got hot and that team caught fire. And that was on Judge. That was on Judge's back, really. in 2017 and really lit a spark under the Yankees. But, if we can have a year like 2017 and the Astros aren't cheating anymore, we got a real shot.
What is your reaction to this? Aaron Judge has 1.4 WAR already.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is insane, but isn't there a little bit of a tiered response inside you where, shit,
Yes, it happens every time he hits a home run.
we should have re-signed him?
Well, we tried. We tried so hard.
Yeah.
And I don't. Here's the thing. I still think in free agency, we're the front runners.
Okay.
I still believe that. I believe whatever offer he gets from anyone, he'll bring to the Yankees to match it. The question there is, will the Yankees match it? That's really the question. I fully believe, you'll hear, everyone say, I want to be with this team forever, and then miff them in free agency, right? John Tavares did it. I remember that.
You guys quote that all the time on this podcast.
I just because. Okay, so to give a rundown for non-hockey fans, what Tavares did was he specifically asked the Islanders to not trade him because he wanted to stay there forever. This is a guy who, if he stayed there, was going to get his number retired. He was like the face of the franchise. He says, "Don't trade me. I don't want to go anywhere." He gets a deal from Toronto. The Islanders match it. He goes to Toronto anyway. They lose him. They didn't get to trade him. They got nothing for him. I don't think it's that situation with Judge. And if it is, I will turn on him just as fast as I did with Tavares. But, I don't think it's like that. I think this is the guy. Or even I don't even think it's like Cano. Remember, the Cano breakup was kind of, it was dirty. The Cano was trashing the Yankees as he left. So, I mean, I don't see that happening either. But this whole season right now, I mean, Aaron Judge is the MVP of the Yankees right now. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have argued Rizzo, but no.
No.
But now let's move on to the current series against Toronto.
Oh, one more quick reaction.
Okay.
If that was your reaction to Judge being 1.4, what's your reaction to Joey Gallo negative 0.2 WAR?
I didn't even realize he'd be in the negatives.
He's got the worst WAR on the team.
That's not great.
He's got less WAR than Miguel Andujar.
Now, and here's the thing. Are the Yankees going away from the three true outcomes? Because it certainly seems that way. They tried to trade Gallo, who is the most three true outcomes player there is. In spring training, they talked to the Padres. Just a deal wasn't reached. But, I'm starting to think that the Yankees don't believe in that type of baseball anymore.
I don't know if the entire league believes in that type of baseball anymore. Do they recognize the value of home runs over any other plate appearance result? Of
100%.
course. Do they also understand that chasing these numbers blindly is not the way? But I will adjust that. Gallo's going to go on a run. I believe that his good games do not get spaced out properly. He's going to have his final year results are going to look kind of bad, but there will be
40 home runs. He's probably going to end up with over, 40's high. He had 38 last year, but I would say above 35
and less than 20 singles.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
So, the Yankees think, I don't know how they feel about Florial. I don't see. Maybe someone comes up at the deadline. Maybe they flip Gallo, because I don't see them re-signing Gallo. I just don't see it happening.
He's good at defense.
He's very good at defense, and that's another thing about this team is the defense. This
But
defense,
his defensive WAR is negative 0.25.
that surprises me.
Yeah.
Is that Fangraphs or is that Baseball Reference?
Fangraphs. I don't know which one's better. All I know is that I decided to go with Fangraphs.
For defense, look at Fangraphs because it's based on UZR, and then I believe Baseball Reference is based off of DRS. So.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah. So go with
Yeah.
Go with with Fangraphs for defensive stuff. But the current series in Toronto, we won the first game. Jinx aside, we're gonna win the second game.
Mm-hmm. Did we already?
This is a 3-game set, or is this a 4-game set? I'm not even remembering right now. But there's no way we lose this series. It's top 9th. We're up 7-1. But it's a great 3-game series. We won the series.
Yeah. You win every series 2-1. You're a damn good baseball team.
That's true. I was looking to see what we're on pace for with this record right now. We're on pace to break the record for beat the 2001 Mariners record.
All that I ask is that if we also go on a little bit of a streak, is that we don't overreact more than we're reacting to this win streak.
What do you mean by that?
If our excitement on a scale of 1 to 10 about this win streak is a 7.
Okay.
If we go on a 7-game winning streak and losing streak, which I think was the equivalent of a 10-game win streak, we can't be a 10 on the panic scale.
100%.
It's just not fair. It's not a good way to watch baseball, is to be so ignorant to the scope of the season and the way baseball works in general.
Yeah. What this does do, if nothing else, and obviously this does a ton for you, this win streak, it gives you wiggle room, which is something we haven't had. We have historically, the past couple of years, had a pretty bad April. Even 2017, we didn't have a good April. So it's always nice to give yourself wiggle room in the beginning. Remember, in 2018, when the Red Sox, were better than us in 2018, they were up almost 10 games by like mid-May against us.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have that. Obviously, it wouldn't have been Boston. It would have been Toronto. But if you remember, like, they're in this win streak, we're killing it. And Toronto is like a game back, like a half a game back at points. Toronto's a very good team. So, obviously, this series was huge. The series that we are currently playing is massive. Any win you could get over Toronto, you take. Same with Boston. I am not counting out Tampa. I have learned in the past never to count out Tampa. So I'm going to stick with that.
One of the weird things is that advanced people who do subscribe to advanced analytics, they do pay a lot of attention to a very simple metric, and it's run differential.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems ironic because it's just literally how much are you winning by each game. And the Yankees this year are second in run differential at 42. Last year, their run differential was 38 for the full season. So the Yankees were a very good team last year, and their run differential was not good. This year, for reference, the Dodgers were 278 last year.
Oh,
so if we can maintain this, what?
I didn't realize it was that much of a difference.
Yeah, exactly. And more reference, Baltimore last year, negative 297. But I would like to see us keep winning these games, 7-1 to keep increasing that run differential. Yankees, the last 3, It's just +6. It's pretty good in the last 3 games. But
yeah, that's going to go up after this game.
guess who is not have a great run differential right now? Toronto is the middle of the pack at 0. That shows that this they're are they above 500?
Toronto? Yeah, Toronto's not far behind us.
They're not far behind us. Okay, so
They've been winning a lot. The difference is they've been winning a lot of one-run games.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and history shows you that when you're playing in run games, it's almost not even luck. It's not even skill. Kind of just luck. It's like Seattle last year playing all those one-run games. If you avoid late inning rallies and having to defend a one-run lead with your closer, you're gonna have a better chance to win. It seems so simple, but it is a very highly praised and honestly surprisingly accurate metric to pay attention to. So if you want to keep an eye on run differential this year, it's a good idea to do it.
Yeah, Toronto is we're 17-6. This is obviously before the results of today's game on Tuesday. We are 17-6. Toronto is 15-9. So they're not that far behind us, but we got a couple games in hand. But
plus 183 last year for Toronto.
Yeah.
So.
And they just missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. That's a shame that team missed the playoffs.
It really is. But there's been a couple surprises. Actually, let's go around the league now, around the horn.
Okay. All right.
So, I'm just looking at the standings right now because I was checking, what Toronto's record was. There's some bad baseball teams.
I guess?
It's a shame. It's a real shame how bad some of these baseball teams are. Like, you look at the Cincinnati Reds, they have 3 wins.
And guess what, Austin?
What? The worst run differential?
Where their run differential is.
Is it the worst?
In the basement, 65. Negative 65. Pittsburgh's negative 41. There's 24 runs difference between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. That's surprising to me, though.
Well, Pittsburgh has triple the amount of wins as the Reds do. So, that triple, it's 9. They haven't even won 10 games yet. But, you win 3 3-19. Could you imagine being a fan of that team? You trade Sonny Gray, Tucker Barnhart, poor Joey Votto. You trade... Is Luis Castillo a Red at the end of this year?
No.
There's no shot, right? Because why would you? Why would you hold on to him? It doesn't make any sense. You know where I was on Sunday night?
Mets game.
I was at the Mets game. Mets Phillies, baby.
Yeah.
So
I got my eye on the Mets this year, man. And guess who else?
Okay. So are you saying
who is my little darling this year?
Okay. So like your little dark horse.
No, but who am I interested in the results of every night for some reason?
Would it be the Texas Rangers?
No.
They're better than the Rangers?
Yes.
Have we played them?
No.
The Tigers? Because the Tigers got a bit of a squad.
I am a little interested in them. I'm interested in the Miami Marlins this year.
I've always been interested in Miami.
I am interested in the Miami Marlins this year. My favorite thing in all of sports is when bad teams become good, and I think it's almost time for Miami to be good.
I think they were really close, and then they, Jeter's gone. I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, it's Chisholm's happening.
That's a player, baby.
Yeah.
He's a player. That dude's a dog. But looking at the NL East, the Mets. So I was at the game on Sunday, and this is, on Sunday after the game, roster shrunk. So
great segue, by the way. You haven't made it yet, but great segue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
I didn't ruin it.
So, I at the game, they were talking about who's going to get sent down. I brought up, first off, for the Yankees, how Clark Schmidt went down and not Ron Marinaccio. I don't get that. Marinaccio, a bit of a dog, but I mean Clark Schmidt should be on the major league roster. But I brought up Cano was brought up. I think my brother brought up Cano. He said, I think Cano's going to get sent down. And I go, I would rather release him. Like Cano in the minors.
He wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not good for anybody. So they are.
Wait, are you allowed to do? Is he allowed to be sent to the minors?
If he clears waivers.
So that's what designated for assignment means.
Yeah, so he's going to clear waivers. No one's picking up his deal. But he can refuse to get sent down and then get released, I believe is how it works. But yeah, there's just no way. I was shocked that he was still even on the team. I thought as soon as that suspension hit, he was done.
I was shocked that he was as bad as he is.
Well, that brings up the question is, I mean, PEDs don't make you good at baseball. They just make you
stronger. They make you
stronger.
healthy enough to keep playing baseball every day and to train enough to be bigger and stronger.
Exactly. So he hasn't been doing that. Is he hurt? Is he just hurting all the time? Is he I don't know what's happening with him. Obviously, he's getting older. The Yankees were obviously correct in not signing him. I think that much is clear. But,
looking at, he did have a couple good seasons.
Yeah, no,
he had a couple of 5.9 WAR in his last season. He's 5.6 the next year with Seattle, a 6.8 with Seattle a few years later, and then I mean, this isn't star level, but which is what he wanted to be paid for. But three WAR, 1 WAR in a shortened season. He's not awful. He's not bad. You just can't pay this man like a superstar, which is what he wanted to be paid for.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone. And I think without the PED, is he going into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
There's an argument there. Well, because he would finish those years without the suspensions. Maybe he does well.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. But. He gets DFA'd, and a lot of people were shocked by that. I was not shocked by that. I said it at the game. So, were you shocked by that? Because I'm really struggling to see how people were shocked by that.
You know why people may be shocked by that? Is they literally haven't thought about Cano since 2020. So 2020 happens. Robinson Cano's decent. He's suspended, and we literally just freeze our opinion on him. And we think, Robinson Cano, he's not a bad player. We just haven't even considered the fact he has been out of baseball for a year. Yeah. I think that it's not recency bias because it's been a year since he's played. It's the fact that we didn't have to think about Robinson Cano, so we didn't get to see the public downfall in front of our eyes, which is what happened this year.
Now, something I really want to get your opinion on. I actually thought of you as soon as this happened. Jo Adell got sent to the minors, and the reason I think it's so interesting is because the Angels were so convinced that he was ready to be in the major leagues that they cut Justin Upton.
What's BJ's other name?
Melvin Upton Jr.
Melvin, yeah.
I think he's back to BJ.
He is.
So, what are your thoughts on them? Did they? I mean, retrospect is 2020, but did they cut Justin Upton prematurely?
No, because how much was Justin Upton making?
Well, they still got to pay him that, don't they?
Oh, good point. I think they were ready to get rid of the old bats in their lineup regardless. Albert Pujols is also gone.
I'm so happy he's back with St. Louis. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that these are able to be mutually exclusive. I think that Jo Adell not working out is able to be its own, you know, occurrence, independent of cutting Justin Upton. If Jo Adell doesn't exist, I think they still cut Justin Upton. If that's what you're asking.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. And it's Upton hasn't signed anywhere either. I don't know if he is thinking about retirement or he just.
Wait. Why did Jo Adell get sent down?
He's been playing poorly, defensively and offensively.
Is it because he's striking out so much? He looks like he's really struggling.
He looks lost.
Because when he makes contact, he's got the 93rd percentile barrel percentage, the 82 percentile expected slugging, 79 max velocity. He's got all. So it's interesting. When he puts the ball in play, his numbers are great, but he's walking less than 98% of the league. He's striking out 96% more than the rest of the league. He's chasing more than half the league. He's got terrible defensive jumps. He's got terrible defense.
Yeah.
He's whiffing 93% more than the rest of the league.
Yeah.
When he's not making contact and when he's playing defense, he's struggling. But he's got that raw talent where when he does make a connection on the, it's very good. So he just needs to go down there and see the ball connect with the bat a little bit more, work with his hitting coach on, having a better approach at the plate, and I think that he's going to be okay because these numbers are pretty interesting to look at.
Yeah, I don't think they're sending him down and you're not what we thought you were. I think it's more just development, and they just can't afford for him to figure it out at the major league level.
No, it is so interesting looking at these numbers.
Talking about interesting numbers, the A's. They go to San Francisco. Couple weeks ago, maybe last week, and they criticized. I cannot believe this is real. They criticized the Giants. Now they what I mean by they is the A's president.
Mm-hmm.
They criticized the attendance of the Giants, who at that game there were 30,410 people.
30,000?
Yeah.
Is that more than has been at the A's game all year combined?
Look that up if you get the chance. If you could find that out, that'd be great. What I can tell you it was 13 times more than the people who showed up to the A games, I believe yesterday it was. They had, are you ready for this number? 2,488.
Why are we mentioning this though? That number is terrible. That's an awful number.
It's horrific. It's so bad. It's the worst I've
True
ever
or false?
seen.
True. Oh my God. Two questions for you.
Okay.
What is the name of their stadium?
O.co was the other one. Well,
O.co hasn't been the name since 2015.
Behind the home plate it says Rickey Henderson Field.
That's the field. What's the name of the building?
Go ahead.
Ring Central Coliseum.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And guess what? That was the name of it last year too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Second point. They don't have the worst attendance in the American League.
Is it the Rays?
It's got to be because the attendance ranking is 14th out of 15.
It's got to be the Rays.
Yeah. Was there limited access to fans last season?
Well, this was the before I answer that, this was the worst attendance for the A's in 4 decades, not including the COVID years. So, what was your question?
It wasn't the doors weren't fully open last year, at least all season, right?
Not at the start of the season. They opened fully like mid. It depends on where you were, but league wide, like mid-season, late mid-season.
Oakland is on pace to have less than last year.
Well, Nick texted both of us this, is that this is according to A's fans. Obviously, they traded like most of the team. Olsen, Manaea. I don't know how long Murphy's there for. Or anyone good, really, is going to be there for. But then they raised prices. They raised ticket prices. How long till that team's in Vegas?
Pretty soon. I mean, fans are saying that it's we're doing this on purpose.
They don't deserve a team.
Back in the 70s, when they won the World Series 3 straight years, guess what their attendance was? Their attendance was the same as last year in 1974 when they won their 3rd World Series.
That's horrific.
There's never been a market for this team in Oakland.
It should not be there.
No, it shouldn't.
And Oakland, they got great football fans. They really do. I don't know, and maybe they don't go there because the stadium's bad. I don't know, but this team is destined for Vegas.
How many people would? Okay, that's a very. I can figure this out.
Okay, and then I got a question for you.
No, you go first. I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead.
Okay. When they move to Vegas, does anything change?
Like, do they get
like how
more
the team?
fans?
Not even that. Like how the teams run. Are they all of a sudden gonna start spending money, or are they still gonna be the team that tries not to spend money? Will they ever win again?
They have to change
ownership.
Ownership, yeah, no, they don't.
Well, is that gonna happen? Will we
I don't know.
Will we finally see Billy Beane be able to have a budget?
Oh, that'd be cool.
It would be nice to see Billy Beane have a budget. Yeah. We could make a whole other movie out of it.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
Oakland, they won their first World Series, second, third in a row in the 70s. Their attendance dropped each season with their 3rd World Series win with 800,000 fans. The Yankees, after their 3rd World Series win in a row in the early 2000s and late 90s, 3 million fans.
That's quite a difference.
Yeah, and it's increasing each year. Obviously winning, what you would think, makes more people want to go to the games, and that's the case in the Yankees. Winning, they didn't change anything for Oakland. In fact, less people went.
There's nothing you could do.
Yeah. No.
It's just not
I have a question. If you wanted to... I was thinking of this while trying to fall asleep the other night. Can Oakland fans rally together and show the ownership, hey, the reason why we're not coming is because we don't want to. We could if we wanted to. Sell out the stadium for a day and then go back to not selling it out. If they all rallied together on social media.
I'm sure they could. We've seen, like whole stadiums wearing plastic bags over their head and stuff like that. I have paper bags and stuff like that.
But no one even went to their wild card game when they hosted the wild card game.
Or like the Jaguars, they did like the whole clown nose thing. But do they even want to? Is my question.
Well,
they could
in a way.
They could if they want to.
Yeah.
If you sell out a game, right? And you're chanting stuff like "sell the team," or what if they started chanting for like Matt Olson? They just started chanting for people that they've traded.
Yeah, I think it would be really fun for one day out of the year to be like, hey, let's show them that we could come if we wanted to, but you guys make us not want to come.
That would be really cool. But
I don't think they could do it though, because no one went to a wild card game when everyone did want to go.
that is weird to me.
The game also was like on 2:00 on a Tuesday though.
Which is ridiculous for a wild card game. Is it the stadium? Is another thing? Is the stadium one of the big deterrents?
Never been.
I'm glad to say I haven't either.
I want to go. I would love it there, I think.
I don't think I love it there, but I would love to say that I've experienced it.
Yeah.
Same with the Trop. But moving on from that, John Sterling, I would consider a legend in the field of broadcasting. Obviously, just a phenomenal. He's been with the Yankees for so long. But he's had some mishaps recently, a couple this year, and
I haven't heard. I have no clue.
There was a really bad one. Do you remember the Stanton catch, the phenomenal Stanton catch?
Mm-hmm.
So Stanton's going for the ball, and he makes the play, and he first calls it a home run. He doesn't really, and then he goes, "What are they waiting for?" And then he goes, then Susan has to jump in. And he goes, "Well, that's because Stanton caught it." And you could see, hear it in her voice, she did not want to have to do that, but she did. And then and then he goes, "Oh, Stanton never threw the ball back in," but he did. So John Sterling, he's catching a lot of heat. Tim, when we finish with this, we're about to wrap up soon. If you look at Twitter and you look up John Sterling, it is riddled. First, you'll find the video. You'll find a couple from this season. But you will find that video, and then you will find just slander.
I have been very slanderous towards him my entire Yankee fandom. And I will say, it's not because it sounds like he may be losing some mental sharpness. I don't blame him for that. I just think he's bad at announcing.
I disagree with you.
I think he's bad at announcing. He's so opinionated and he thinks he knows.
The one thing that I will say, every announcer has their own thing, and your favorite things about them. At least I am not a fan at how opinionated he is.
He's cynic. He hates baseball.
He's a bit of a homer for the Yankees.
That's okay to me.
Yeah, but he I will say 100%. He will get on top of them when they do something he doesn't like, but he grills them
about not bunting. I'm like, dude, get it together. It just seems like he's pissed at you for not having his opinion, and you're not even having a conversation with him. He doesn't like baseball, it sounds like.
I clearly he loves baseball. He wouldn't be doing this if he didn't.
And if he's losing it a little bit, then I feel bad for him. I hate to see that happen.
I don't think he's losing it. I think he just made a mistake. You do this to your 83, 82, you're gonna make a mistake every once in a while.
That's the thing. Why are people just catching on about it? He makes mistakes all the time.
Everybody does.
Yeah, but his mistakes are brutal. So I don't know why. I've been on top of him making mistakes for a long time. You know what?
I'm a bit of
might have it written down.
I'm a bit of a John Sterling guy. So I
am not.
So I'm really not gonna grill him too hard. Here's something I want to bring up. On the Michael K show today, they introduced the segment, right? They were about to play the audio. And Michael K started not yelling, but he started like really saying to the guys like, "Hey guys, I am not going to partake in any type of slander towards John Sterling at all or whatever." And before they could even say like they weren't gonna slander him or whatever, they were just playing the audio talking about something everyone was talking about. Michael K walked off the radio station.
Really?
Yeah. He just walked off. Granted, there was 5 minutes left of the show.
Uh-huh.
But he didn't sign off. He just walked out.
Michael K can be a bit of a diva. Can I read you some of the things I wrote down when
Love
I was
Michael K,
mad
by the
about
way.
John Sterling being bad at his job?
Yeah.
He always says that this is when the balls were juiced. He kept saying that people claim the balls are juiced.
No,
They were juiced.
the balls were juiced.
Yeah, he kept saying that he claimed it. Whenever like the live mic would pick something up in the dugout, he would go, "What is that sound?" And then Susan's like, "It's the live mic down in the dugouts, John." So he kept being confused by it. Giancarlo Stanton hit a 103-mile-per-hour home run. And Sterling goes, "He got lucky on that one. He did not even hit that one that hard." Stuff like that. And she's so addicted to batting average. He's so addicted.
You have written it down.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago too that I wrote it down. I just found my notes.
Okay, I want you, whenever you hear yourself, find yourself listening, I want you to continue to do that, and every time update us with it.
I haven't listened to him all year. I haven't been in the car much during Yankees games, so it'll be different during the summer.
Wait, but how would you listen to him?
MLB app.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna be like, you don't get.
But I also usually listen to the away broadcast on the radio now.
Yeah.
I really can't stand him. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's got their tastes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Michael K?
He's okay. He's a little cocky too. I don't like how they have been doing. Did you hear Coney was doing the broadcast? He was doing the play-by-play for the Royals game.
No, that was
Oh, it was
Flaherty.
O'Neal.
It was Flaherty.
Oh, it's Flaherty? Oh, well,
Flaherty.
they all sound so similar to me.
How do you now? Here's my thing. How do you feel about Beltran?
I think I give him a lot of credit.
I'll tell you what. He is. I think he's got to get better at communicating. I don't think that's a language
he
barrier.
Doesn't speak English.
No, I was just
English.
about to say I don't think it's a language barrier thing. I think it'll just come with time.
Yeah.
But the content of what he says is very nice.
Yeah. No, I do not even want to talk to you. I don't want to even engage in a conversation if it's something about him having an accent or a language barrier. Because I mean, it's not his first language. You got to give him so. Could you imagine doing a broadcast in Spanish?
Nope.
It would be impossible. It's amazing what he's doing. He can get better. That's for sure. Can get better, but I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying. I don't think. Obviously, I'm sure there's a bit of problems brought up with the language barrier thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, when I say by communicating, I think it's more in terms of like he just kind of stops mid sentence. Stuff like that. He'll do a lot of what I'm doing right now, where he'll be doing a lot of uhs and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's gonna come with time. So
you don't say a lot.
Well, thank you. I try not to. I pride myself. I prefer a stutter to an
I was just listening to someone who didn't do any ums but did a stutter, and it was bad.
It was bad.
Worse than It was worse than But a almost purposeful stutter is okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you're just not right at the tip of your tongue. Right, just.
I have a teacher who does it all the time. I have a
once you notice
professor.
it, though, it's what's over. Once you notice that stuff, it's over.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We hope to see you next episode on YouTube. I run it up, guys. YouTube has been I've really enjoyed doing the video. I apologize for the cold sore on my lip. I'm getting over a cold. I also apologize for the voice.
You sound fine.
I don't feel it, but I took a test, just this morning. Popped a test, making sure we're okay over here.
No COVID?
No COVID. Had it early January. Wasn't a fan. Definitely going to try to not do that again. But thank you guys for listening. We hope to see you next episode. And go Yankees.
Go Bills.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter @BoogiePod and subscribe on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.